Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I'm a senior partner here at ActionCOACH in Central Texas. Today, I'm sitting down with Ali Hussain, who is the co-founder of Vixul. So excited to be chatting about a whole bunch of different stuff when it comes to just, I don't know, entrepreneurship, business, things like that. So first off, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me. I always like to start with just a little bit of background. If you would kind of give us the 10,000 foot view of kind of who you are and what your background is, and tell us, the maybe not the sales pitch, but tell us, what is Vixul?
Sure. Thank you, Tyler, for having me. Vixel, we want to build the ecosystem for the accelerator ecosystem for tech services startups. So if you look at the product startup scene, you see the founding of Y Combinator, and that had a monumental shift in how people build product companies. It made it accessible to a lot more people to start building a product company, and a lot of resources, a lot of blueprints. There became pretty much a roadmap, and hey, this is how you're going to be able to build a product, a software product company. We built a tech services company in the past, and we realized that there was no such thing, and we spent some 6-7 years of our life looking for something that could actually guide us. And after we exited our services company, we're like, okay, let's build that resource that doesn't exist, that ecosystem.
Hmm, that's really cool. So as you've kind of gone through and started to build, I always like to ask kind of the generalized, what role do you currently play in the business, or how many different hats do you have to wear in the business today versus, I don't know, even, a year or two ago? Do you wear like a whole bunch of different roles within kind of the organization at this point? Have you all been able to take some off and delegate them out to additional people? Like what does that look like for you in the business today?
Sure. Let me actually answer that question in two ways, because it's the second venture kind of thing, right? Like, and your audience is kind of interested in knowing my experience and why would you bother listening to me.
Yeah.
In terms of my past experience at our previous venture, we grew a cloud and DevOps consultancy from bootstrapped it to a 10 million run rate, and in that process we did in that process I was leading the delivery team, and that was around some 60 plus people. So that kind of gives you an idea of the previous experience that I had, and we had an excellent delivery team. We got rewards from TechTarget, CRM, Inc., AWS, and then but this one is kind of different in that there's just the three founding team, myself, and the two other starting people at Flex 7, Adar Suleiman and Vishnu Priyam. We have, I guess, a chemistry of working together since 2013, and because of that, we can work with each other without actually, like, everyone can just assume a certain thing and I'll run with it, and we don't actually have a definition of clear boundaries. It's not something that I would actually recommend anyone else to do, because you should not be able to do that. Like, you should not have that kind of chemistry with somebody that like, if you've been working with somebody for nearly a decade, then you should have enough. You should have to scale your company a little bit more than, oh yeah, I will just take random roles. One of the roles that I am taking putting a lot of effort into, we are very focused on content marketing and generating really good content. In our previous business too, our content is what actually brought us the attention that we got, and And so this time around, we're very focused on, okay, let's just create some really, really high quality content that really solves people's problems. And when they come to our website for help in solving problems, once they actually are ready to work with somebody, that would be us.
That's fantastic. That's the perfect segue. I want to jump into kind of just some like marketing in general, because it's one of those topics I love to talk about, especially for other entrepreneurs, business owners out there that don't have necessarily a background in marketing per se. It tends to be that area that I don't know. A lot of business owners just kind of stumble
Mhm.
in, and we know that marketing is one of those things that's just vital to every business. You got to have people coming in the door to be able to have conversations, etc. So when you look at marketing, especially content marketing, and being able to kind of have a big focus on that, um, what's kind of been the philosophy, or we could even just talk about like what are some of the channels that you've seen work the best to deliver some of that content with? How do you reach the audience with that content initially? What has worked for you, or what have you seen kind of in your experience?
Sure. I guess the first thing is that it has to be good. It has to be something that's that people actually do listen to you for, and it has preferably something that is rare, so you don't actually have to compete with lots of other people sharing the same
Mhm.
thing. Uh, if they need to individually look for you, then that in itself. And so a lot more before we get into the marketing, there is the product marketing, the aspect of it, where the offer that you design has to be around the customer, and you have to understand who your customer is. But after that, you need to your content that you're producing, all of your marketing has to reflect the product that you are selling, and it has to target who you want to target. The channels, I don't think we're doing anything special, just standard stuff. Post it on blogs on our website, and get people's email addresses. Use white papers, long form content to that will help getting email addresses. Post on our LinkedIn's, post on our on other social, since our interest is in attracting founders and bringing them into, hey, work with us and we will help you grow your tech services business a lot faster. LinkedIn is a very, very powerful channel for us. It may not be the same for other people. In B2B, LinkedIn is definitely very powerful. In the past, SEO directly was really, really powerful
Mhm.
for our previous venture, Flux 7. SEO, obviously, when you're creating good content, when people are sharing your content, it um, it starts coming into practice. But a little bit of bump in getting some help with your SEO, getting your links submitted, getting in different places, and that's definitely useful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I heard in there, from a content standpoint, some blogs, some white papers, some things like that. They're going to be more kind of long form written, using LinkedIn as a tool there. Type of content that you found works best on LinkedIn for your specific industry at this point? Is it traditionally more written content? Is it short form videos? Is it more image based? Kind of what have you noticed? Maybe that's an easier question. Have you noticed a difference between the type of content that's being leveraged on like a platform like LinkedIn, performing better than another content form?
So I think one thing we need to keep in mind with performance of content, there's a lot of difference between getting views and getting customers. And what you need the content to do is to do both. And the things that get the views, they're not the same things that get the customers. And you need to kind of diversify things and hit it with both. um, Personal anecdotes, personal stories, that kind of thing actually does help a lot more towards getting views and getting people to like and share what you have. Calling out other people and things like that definitely helps. This is the broad stroke that you are doing to spread your reach, but it's not what will actually give you the customers. What's going to give you the customers is the very precise, I will solve your problem. This is what your problem is. I will solve it. And you need to have both of those working together in tandem. I mean, it's great that you have the solution to everyone's problem right there, but they have to stumble upon you as a human being before doing that.
Yeah.
And then the other part about it is with like the picture of my kids about and talking about the value of building a business and how it's motivating me. That's going to be sure. It's gonna all of my friends are gonna say, "Woohoo! Great job! You're love what you're doing. Love what you did with the last one." That's nobody's gonna give me money for that, right?
Yeah.
The one other thing, I guess, part of why I'm here, other people's networks, like collaborate with others. We did. Again, our business is helping tech services businesses, right? So we did a workshop for Pasha, which is the largest organization in Pakistan for tech services businesses, and we're planning another one with an alumni association in September, and I'm meeting with you, so that these kinds of things tap into other people's networks, share your knowledge, share what you have with them.
I love that. I'm going to highlight that the things that get the views aren't always the things that get the customers. Like for those that are watching, like write that down somewhere. Make sure that if you don't know the difference in your own business or in your own marketing of the things that are actually getting the views and the things that are actually getting the actual I don't know, marketing results, getting customers, that might be like number one thing to go start measuring after you hear this conversation. And I just want to say thank you for highlighting that point just in the conversations. This is really important to kind of look at. We can get all these views and such, but if it doesn't turn into actual business, we got to understand the relationship between that. So I want to just go back for a second on kind of your journey overall. And you
Yeah.
and you look at building another business, starting with this one now. What have been some of the biggest lessons that you personally have had to overcome or learn along the way in the industries and the things that you've built so far?
God, you're asking like everyday kind of thing, right? And that's probably one of the most exciting.
Just like one or two. I know there's like 100 out there for anyone that's in this journey, but like, is there like one or two that springs to mind more than anything else?
So one thing that I would like to say to people that are actually considering entrepreneurship or like early in their journeys, especially, is it is the most fulfilling thing I have done professionally. And the amount of learning has been absolutely incredibly immense. We were leading an organization which was doubling in size every year. And every year you look and you're like, oh, I don't know what my job is. I just got promoted to the double position of what I used to be. The other and then in this new work that we're doing, we have the network of people who have 10 years of experience running businesses 10 times the size of us, and they're like sharing all of their knowledge with us, and we're like, okay, we did this wrong, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this. And then we are getting straight insights into right now 9 businesses, and we're going to be adding another 6 in our next cohort in starting in a few weeks. So all of that learning, all of that, it's that in itself is a very amazing experience. And if I were to give you one lesson, one piece of advice, one piece of learning as a whole, it would be the imposter syndrome is a part of it, because by definition you will never actually be able actually know enough to be able to do your job, because the company will run faster than you. If you know enough to do your job, then you're doing something wrong.
Man, that's powerful. So when you look at the next 3 to 5 years, what does the business look like as you continue to grow? How do you change? What do things look like for you over the next 3 to 5 years as you develop this business, as you develop as in your journey of just entrepreneurship in general? What does the outlook look like for the next 3 to 5 years?
Sure. I can tell you a little bit more about the next year. We kept, I mentioned Y Combinator earlier, and that they created the ecosystem for tech services, for product companies, and wanting to do the same for services companies. We looked at Y Combinator, and one thing that we noticed was they kept their scale small, they kept their scale tangible during the early stages of the business. So that is one thing that we know we're going to do. We're not going to grow too fast. Just gonna keep a steady pace, add more companies into our next cohort, and keep on building on that. We're focused a lot more on in terms of learnings and kind of figuring out what our offer is, and making sure we can scale things well and do them really execute really well for our customers. So this is kind of an internal goal that we're kind of playing around with. We haven't canonized it, but I'll just share it with you. We want a 90% chance of 3x growth for our customers. So we want 90% of our customers to grow 3x in 3 years. To us, that means that we have created the ecosystem where we're taking companies who are small and actually putting them into to this path towards a high growth tech services business, which can have a life-changing outcome for them. But we're for the time being, our goal is to just stay focused on being able to help these customers really well, and really focus on what is it that they really need. While it's actually true that that our team has been through this journey and we have faced all of these challenges before, but it is actually different when you actually start looking at it from a service provider perspective rather than the customer perspective, in terms of how do I actually solve the problem. It's the old analogy, right? Like people would have, if people asked, if Henry Ford asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. So there is that part of the question that we have to look for.
Yeah, that's exciting. I love the vision that you all have, especially the growth for the clients that you're looking to work with, things like that. That's absolutely fantastic, and yeah, it can be majorly life changing for those individuals.
Yeah, we think it's not aggressive enough, but the 3x in 3 years is seems kind of not aggressive enough, but when we put the 90% attached to it, that definitely puts let's see. So I'm not supposed we haven't like really settled down on that, and I'm somewhat hesitant behind sharing that goal, because now 3 years later people are going to be like, hey Ali, did you do it? Did you do it? So so I just made our potential future failure public. Thank you, Tanner.
You're welcome.
but we will, the 90% part is the key, in that what we want to do is that it needs to be a system that we can very consistently say that you will have, there is a very high likelihood that you will have success.
That's beautiful. All right, we have covered a ton of ground so far today. I know we could probably sit here for 2 hours and just uncover a whole bunch of fun stuff, but I want to be respectful of the time that we have, and I've got a couple rapid fire questions. I'd love to kind of start our wrap up on, pull a few additional nuggets out for the audience here. So I've got 4 of them in total. We'll go kind of as top ahead answer as you can on it. I know we could go deep on a couple, but we'll keep it as top ahead answers as possible. So the first one here is, Ali, when you look at kind of your journey so far, what would you say is your key to success?
I think being stupid about how bad we are and how little we know, and not realizing it and actually just going at it anyway.
I like that. I don't think I've ever heard it phrased quite that way. That's absolutely brilliant. I know you gave one piece of advice already, but if you could give one additional piece of advice for other entrepreneurs or other business owners out there, what piece of advice would you want them to walk away with?
Sure. Actually, I was inspired by this by reading some of the notes that you had given me. You had asked this question of how much time do you spend on your business.
Mm,
One big piece of advice that I would give you is that there's going to be times when you will need to go all in, put nights and weekends. If you do that every day, when you need, if you do that every day, there is no such thing as time remaining for you to have that 20-30 extra% extra push when you need to. So to work hard towards gaining work-life balance. Your life is not going to wait for you, and for your business to succeed, you need to be happy with your life. And then B, your business actually does need you to recognize that you are putting too much of your time in, and you recognize that, hey, this time being put is a problem and I need to fix it, and very consistently work towards building processes to do that. And one of the marks of, hey, and then things go wrong. You need to have the capacity to deal with things when they go wrong.
I absolutely love that. That's like a whole topic I could go into and just like chat for days on it. I love it because it's yeah, at first, especially, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you got to be willing to put a lot of time in. I mean, that is a capital investment that you make, is your own time into it. Eventually you'll run out of time and you got to buy back your time by hiring additional people and things like that. But, between that and the work-life balance thing, we like to often joke about having work-life harmony instead of balance, because it's
Yeah.
almost never perfectly balanced, but you can have harmony. And that may mean that this week it's going to be a 100+ hour week, but that's that can even out later on, that sort of thing. So absolutely love that. Sorry, going off script on the quickness of these these rapid fire questions. So getting back on my track here, third one I've got for you is, what's one book that you're either currently reading or have read, I don't know, most recently, that you would recommend for the audience?
So the book that I'm currently reading is Brave Not Perfect. It's a really good book, and I would definitely recommend it. It's very much focused on women, and so but I think it resonated a lot for me because of my immigrant background. And I think within the immigrant background, some of those implications also come true. But the book before that is, I would consider that required reading. Thinking Fast and Slow. The
Hmm.
book in terms of understanding human behavior, when human beings are rational and when they're not rational. How do you actually enforce people to be rational? It is absolutely brilliant. And when reading the book, it actually really gave me a newfound appreciation for the kind of for the processes that we had in our last company, because they were focused on, okay, how do you actually get people to behave rationally in a loss
Mm.
situation. So I would definitely recommend thinking fast as well.
Awesome. I will be putting those in the video description below. So as soon as we wrap up here, make sure you go and check out the book recommendations, and go check those out. I know I'll be adding them to my reading list. Final rapid fire question for us here today, and this one's just kind of a fun one. I always like to ask this one because it's kind of crazy in some ways. If you had to choose just one area in your business and you could just take some magic dust and sprinkle it all over this one area in the business, and you wake up tomorrow and it was, magically 10 times better than it is today, where would you choose to put that magic dust?
Well, for our business, since we're an accelerator, we get compensated on in equity. And I think if one thing that could be magically better, it would be good to know that the equity is going to be worth something. Of course, it's a 90%, 90% 3x in 3 years, it would definitely be worth something. But it would be really good to know that sooner than 3 years.
I love that. Yes, that it's like using it to have a crystal ball to know that things are actually going to turn out fantastic. Ali, for those that want to learn more, that want to connect with you, that want to follow kind of the things that you're doing, where can we advise the audience to go for more information and make some connections here?
Oh, reach out to me on LinkedIn, where that's the easiest place to access me. Follow the things that we are sharing, the content that we're producing. If you want to see more of that, follow Vixul on LinkedIn. Pretty much everything that we do, we say, we put that on our LinkedIn page.
Excellent. I'll be sure to add those in the video description as well. So as soon as we wrap up this here, if you haven't already, go down, click the link, connect with Ali here, and send him a message. Say, hey, saw you here on the business spotlight. Wanted to connect with you. Make sure you take that extra step. One of these things is it's phenomenal to connect to the business owners and such here in the local area. So highly recommend that for anyone that's watching. But Ali, as we finish up here, I love to end on kind of one specific question. And that question is this: what is most inspiring to you today?
Um, Actually, this call is pretty inspiring. I'm really happy to be reaching out to a wide variety of people, and looking forward to hearing have people reach out, have people connect with me from the call.
Beautiful. Well, I want to say thank you again for taking the time to be here, to sit down, to chat, share some of your knowledge and wisdom and everything that you've kind of experienced over your journey. This has been a lot of fun. I know we could truly sit here for another 30, 40, 50 minutes and dive in deeper. But I do want to say thank you for allocating a bit of your time today to share what you have with the audience.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.